So hey guys, welcome back to another video, and this video is going to be one of those candid videos that I am recording these days, and this is going to be about a very important topic that I like to call exposure. So whenever you are in tech, like you are going to work in a lot of technologies and everything, one of the major things that I have found that is the most resisting thing that is keeping you from going elite or something into this field is exposure. Now this is something that I found out when I was on my Discord channel, and whenever I was getting questions about how do you find these things in Arch Linux, like should I use a hyperland, should I use DWM, should I use xmonad or something which is written in Haskell or something, how do you find these things, like where do you go and find out about these things? So then I got to understand like the biggest problem that people have right now is of exposure. Like for me, when I was in the first year of my college, I started from YouTube itself. Like even my whole journey into this tech field started when I was in 10th standard, and I used to get a lot of ads on cybersecurity and everything. So I decided to take a course from Udemy and start working on it, which eventually led me into this field. So the point was of exposure. My argument here is, if you are hardworking enough, if hard work is not the issue, if efforts are not the issue, the one thing that will keep you back from the person who is going much ahead is just the exposure of things and the willingness to get it. Like for me, it was YouTube. For myself, like my YouTube recommendation is mostly of tech related stuff, the Primogen, Luke Smith, Mental Outlaw, people like that, Network Chuck, and all those people. So whenever I am scrolling YouTube, I don't usually get those stupid videos that algorithm is feeding me, like all those junk that I don't want to watch. Everywhere I see is just these technological videos and what is new in the field and what's happening and what's the best way to do this and why the styling window manager is better and which editor is better. This is something that I'm getting on that side. So for me, the form of exposure is YouTube. Like I don't have to go somewhere else to just search about like, okay, which is the best window manager, which is the most optimal thing, which is this. I just keep scrolling and I just start discovering new technologies. Like if I know AWS, if I'm doing AWS, chances are I might not know about other cloud services that like DigitalOcean itself. If I know AWS, chances are I might know Google Cloud. I have just checked out the alternatives and Microsoft Azure and everything. But there are a lot of Hetzner is one of the cloud provider which is good, DigitalOcean is good, Linode is good. These are like it's really hard for you to go out of the mainstream and find these types of tools and to find out what is better at this thing. One of the things that you can do is to check out like by yourself, like which is more better and which provides the best price for you and everything, but that would just take time. So the best way to get ahead, just to cross away, is to learn from other people, like what other people are doing. So in my case, what argument I had is of exposure. Like just let's take an example about Arch Linux. Okay, if we are talking about which styling manager to install, it's not like I found out Arch Linux and then I just got into my mind, okay, I have installed Arch, I can just see a blank screen, so I should just go ahead and install a display server. Then I selected Xorg for me, I didn't select Wayland for me or something, even though Wayland is newer. Then I just decided to, okay, I still can't see any kind of GUI, so I should just go ahead and install some kind of tiling window manager. Then I just stumbled upon DWM and I just installed it. That didn't happen with me. I was just scrolling YouTube and I just started getting about tiling window managers. Like DistroTube does test a lot of these things, and Luke Smith is like a big DWM user. So this is something that I curated from this. Okay, I need minimalism, I need this, and I can just go ahead and install DWM. So here the exposure was the part for me. Like installing DWM, installing, comparing, and talking about it wasn't hard for me. It's never hard for anyone. If you are hardworking enough, like if you're relentless, if you just want, if you get to know something, you just work upon it, it's not hard for you. But the issue occurs is of exposure, and not a lot of exposure stuff is in your hand. Like you will be seeing what is getting fed to you. So in my case, the YouTube algorithm knows that it needs to feed me with new window managers, what is optimal, what is better for me, what I would be working out with. So this is how I get to know about what's happening really in tech. And if you know what's happening really in tech, You, if you're relentless enough, you're just going to go ahead and going to try it out, and you, if you like it, you might go ahead and learn it. Like when I was using Docker or something, let's just take an example that I know Docker. Chances are I might not know about Kubernetes or what K3s is, what K8s is, and what kubectl is, and all those stuff. But it is what happens with your YouTube algorithm. Like if you search for Kubernetes and everything, you are going to get fed with like K3s, K8s, and the Rancher Labs and everything. So if you find that interesting, then you just go ahead and complete studying about the Docker. You start using Docker into your own projects, and then you start working out with Kubernetes and K3s, K8s, all those open source tools and all. So this is how you go ahead and learn. If you're relentless enough, you just need exposure to things. There are a lot of things that you might do really well from what you're doing right now. You might do really well, but you just don't know about it. So I think if you are relentless, if you are hardworking, if you just want to go out and do it, the one thing that you need is exposure. You should have a source where you can go ahead and get exposure from it, because exposure is a thing that you can't adjust. Like it's not like you are going to get maximum amount of exposure or you are getting minimum amount of exposure. It's like a gradient out there. So you should always try to maximize what kind of exposure you are going to have. And for this, I recommend to have just like one social media or something. Like I am not on Instagram or Twitter, not X right now. I might be someday because someone was recommending me, but I'm not on Instagram, I'm not on Facebook, because most of this these social media platforms aren't providing me with much value related to the exposure part, or the people I want to see, or the algorithm is not that well enough curated for me. It might be for me, it might be for you, I don't know, but for me YouTube is an algorithm. Just let's keep the shorts aside because shorts divert a lot. But if you are watching some legit stuff about dev and programming, it is going to feed you with recommendations that are a bit out of your context, but it is something new. Like as I gave the example of, if you know Docker, you are going to have Kubernetes, you are going to have K3s, K8s, Rancher Labs, OpenSUSE, KubeCon, everything. Then you can go ahead, and if you get good with Kubernetes, if let's consider that you become a Kubernetes nerd or something, you are good at Docker and all those things, those DevOps things, and chances are that you end up going in it, and then you start discovering about CNCF and LFX mentorship and all those things, and you start getting to know about the organizations that are going to come in GSOC and all those programs which are going to be really helpful for your career. That's it. You can just go ahead and start working in that direction. Because we have assumed that you are hardworking at that point, so you can just go ahead and start exploring those things. You go ahead, can crack those mentorships, can get ahead, make your name there, just crack it, have it into your resume. You are now stronger than ever enough. Now this was not going to happen if you weren't scrolling YouTube at that point, because this thing here is it's not going to happen like you learn Docker for the sake of just learning it or just using it in your project and you end up cracking LFX mentorship or GSOC or something. You need to have a bridge that is going to connect you from that point to that point, and that big point is exposure. So exposure is the biggest thing that keeps two hardworking people apart. Like if one has more exposure, he knows what to do, he has been exposed to what options are available, what good options are available, what bad options are available, that guy is going to go much ahead than the person who has less exposure. Doesn't matter how hardworking he is. Like you can work on Docker tediously, hardworkingly, painstakingly, work for a lot of time. You can go ahead and spend years learning Docker and being so good at it that nobody can beat you or something like that. But on the other hand, if there is some guy who just understands and works with Docker for 2 months, goes ahead and learn Kubernetes, he got to know about Kubernetes, he learns it for 1 month or something, goes ahead 2 months he spends on K3s and K8s and how to do orchestration, how to design something well, then he finds out the CNCF and LFX mentorship or GSOC or Outreachy or anything, and then he go ahead and contributes to the organization, goes ahead, get into it, have it into his resume, work with those great people, awesome people out there who are like one of the best people who are working in that field itself, because they are one of the creators and maintainers of the project, and then they can just go ahead and have it and just go ahead and crack bigger jobs with that, bigger internships with that, or go ahead with other programs as well. So exposure is the biggest stuff you should have. And in summary, I would just say that you should have maximum amount of exposure that you can have. And one of the best ways is to keep one social media platform, for example YouTube, as one of your medium, because you can really adjust what you are looking. Like if you have an account where you just search for programming related stuff, go and these all things, you are just going to get exposed with that. Like I get questions about which library to use, how do you got to know about this library, why you know this library. It wasn't that I just discovered whenever I was building a project and discovering something is a really great deal. But apart from that, when you are in your free time, like binge watching content and all, you should get to know about those possible options that you have in front of you, so that you can even consider it when you are building the projects, and it will save you a lot of time. It will just improve your own arsenal of tools that you have. So this was it. This was something that I wanted to talk about, which is exposure. Exposure is the biggest thing, given that you are a reckless person and you are going to work hard and a lot. So I would just recommend you to have one form of exposure. We all need one form of exposure, which is a streamline, pipeline or something that is going to feed you all the time, and it is going to keep you updated with what's happening around the world, and you can stay at the peak of it. You can also subscribe to some newsletters or something, like there are a lot of great system design newsletters, and there are a lot of good programming newsletters by amazing devs out there. And if you are following a bit of LinkedIn or something with good people of course, who are really good at their own work and not just flashy people, then that is something that is going to work out for you. Like you are going to dominate because of the exposure. That's it.